Lesson 1, Stationery Enthusiasts.
Hey Anna, can I ask you something? I've been really getting into stationery lately.
Oh, that's so interesting. I'm a big fan of stationery myself. What is it about it that you find fascinating?
Well, I just love the variety of pens, notebooks, and other office supplies. There's something so satisfying about finding the perfect pen or jotting things down in a nice journal.
I completely understand. Stationery can be such a source of joy and creativity. Do you have any favorite brands or items you've discovered?
Definitely. I'm really into this one Japanese pen company, their ink flow is just incredible. And I just found this amazing leather bound notebook that's become my go to for all my notes.
That sounds amazing. I'd love to see your stationery collection sometime. Maybe we could even go on a little stationery shopping trip together.
That's a great idea. I'd be more than happy to show you my collection. And a shopping trip sounds wonderful, I bet we could find some real gems.
Wonderful. I know the perfect little stationery shop downtown that has the most unique and high quality supplies. We'll have to plan a visit soon.
Awesome, I can't wait. This is going to be so much fun. I love having someone to geek out about stationery with.
Me too. It's always more exciting to share a passion like this with a fellow enthusiast. This is going to be a great bonding experience.
Absolutely. Alright, I'm already mentally making a list of all the things I want to check out at the shop. This is going to be epic.
I can tell you're really excited about it. This is going to be such a great time. I'm looking forward to it, John.
Awesome, me too. Okay, I'm going to start planning our stationery adventure. Catch you later, Anna.
Lesson 2, Travel Arrangements.
Hey Anna, I'm excited about the trip. I'll do my best to accommodate that extra luggage you mentioned.
Hi John, thanks. I appreciate it. How long will you be staying?
I'll be there for a week. I want to explore as much as possible.
That sounds perfect. Do you have a list of places you want to visit?
Yes. I'm planning to see the historical sites and maybe some local markets.
Great choices. Local markets are fantastic for experiencing the culture.
Exactly. I can't wait to try some street food. Do you have any recommendations?
Definitely try the local specialties. They often taste better from street vendors.
Good idea. I'll keep an eye out for popular food stalls. Are you joining me for any part of the trip?
I wish I could. I have commitments here, but I'll be with you in spirit.
I'll share lots of photos so you can feel like you're there.
I'd love that. It'll be fun to see everything through your eyes.
For sure. I'll keep a travel journal too, so I can remember all the details.
That's a great idea. It'll be nice to look back on those memories later.
Exactly. I'll make the most of it and share every adventure with you.
Lesson 3, Visions of Governance.
Hey Anna, I've been thinking a lot about the role of government lately. What do you think an ideal government should look like?
That's a fascinating and complex question, John. I'd say an ideal government should be one that serves the people and promotes the common good.
Can you elaborate on that a bit? What specific qualities or principles would you say are important?
Well, I believe a government should be transparent, accountable, and focused on the needs and well-being of its citizens. It should protect individual rights and liberties.
Okay, that makes sense. So would you say things like democracy, rule of law, and protection of human rights are key elements?
Absolutely. Those are all critical components of good governance in my view. The government should also be responsive to the will of the people.
I see. And what about things like efficiency and pragmatism? How important are those factors?
Also very important. An effective government should be able to make decisions and implement policies in a timely, practical manner.
Interesting. So it's not just about the lofty ideals, but also the nuts and bolts of governing competently.
Precisely. The rhetoric and vision need to be matched by the ability to execute and deliver results for the citizens.
That's a good point. It's a delicate balance between principles and pragmatism.
Exactly. The ideal government should embody both upholding core values while also being a well-oiled, functional machine.
Fascinating. You've given me a lot to think about in terms of what constitutes truly effective governance.
I'm glad I could provide some food for thought, John. It's a complex topic, but an important one to grapple with.
Definitely. Okay, I'm going to ponder these ideas on good government a bit more. Thanks for the insightful discussion.
Anytime, John. I enjoy exploring these big questions with you. Let me know if you have any other thoughts you want to unpack.
Will do. Alright, back to contemplating the perfect system of governance. Catch you later.
Lesson 4, Democracy's Enduring Dream.
Hey Anna, I was wondering if you had any thoughts on the state of democracy in our country.
Absolutely, John. As a citizen, I believe deeply in the democratic process and the enduring dream it represents.
I agree, it's such a fundamental part of our national identity. But sometimes it feels like that dream is under threat.
You raise a valid concern. Democracy requires constant vigilance and commitment from the people. But I still believe in this nation's future.
That's
Definitely.
reassuring to hear.
Civic
Do you
engagement,
think there are
voting,
specific
and
ways
holding
we
our
can work
leaders
to
accountable
strengthen and
are all
protect our
crucial.
democratic institutions?
We mustn't become complacent.
Right, we all have a responsibility to be active participants in the democratic process. What are your thoughts on the current state of political discourse?
It's certainly become more polarized and divisive in recent years. But I still believe that through open and respectful dialogue, we can find common ground.
That's a good point. Finding ways to bridge divides and focus on our shared hopes for the country is so important.
Absolutely. Even when we disagree, we're all in this together as Americans. Compromising and working collaboratively is key.
I agree. Maintaining that sense of national unity, even in the face of differences, is crucial for the health of our democracy.
Exactly. If we lose sight of our democratic ideals and our shared commitment to this country, then the dream we believe in is at risk.
Well said. Alright, this has been a really thought provoking discussion, Anna. Lots to ponder when it comes to the state of our democracy.
I'm glad we could have this meaningful exchange, John. Keeping these conversations going is so important. The future is in our hands.
Absolutely. Okay, back to contemplating the enduring power of the democratic process. Catch you later.
Lesson 5: Embracing Local Cuisines.
Hey Anna, I wanted to pick your brain about something. When you travel, do you make a point to try the local cuisine?
Absolutely, John. I always consider exploring the local cuisine to be one of the highlights of any trip I take.
I agree, it's such an amazing way to immerse yourself in the culture and get a true taste of a place.
Definitely. The flavors, ingredients, and preparation methods can really give you such valuable insights into a destination.
Totally. Do you have any favorite local dishes or culinary experiences you've had while traveling?
Oh, that's a tough question. I've had so many amazing food adventures. But one that really stands out was the street food scene in Thailand.
Ooh, that sounds incredible. What kind of dishes did you get to try there?
All sorts of delicious curries, noodle dishes, and grilled meats and seafood. The flavors were just so vibrant and unique.
Wow, that sounds absolutely mouth-watering. I bet the atmosphere of exploring the street stalls added to the experience too.
Absolutely. The energy and hustle and bustle of the night markets was just unforgettable. It really felt like an assault on the senses in the best way.
I can imagine. That's the kind of cultural immersion that you just can't replicate anywhere else.
Exactly. Sampling the local cuisine is such an integral part of understanding a new place. It's a window into the heart and soul of the culture.
I love that perspective. It makes me want to plan my next trip around discovering the regional specialties.
You should definitely do it, John. Culinary tourism is so rewarding. You come away with such a deeper appreciation.
Awesome, I'm convinced. Alright, time to start researching the top foodie destinations on my travel bucket list.
Sounds like a plan. Can't wait to hear all about your future culinary adventures, John. Bon appetit.
Haha, will do. Alright, back to my food fueled travel daydreaming. Catch you later, Anna.
Lesson 6: Investing in Sustainability.
Hey Anna, I wanted to get your thoughts on something. Do you think it's worth investing in more sustainable business offerings?
That's an important question, John. I believe transitioning to more sustainable practices is crucial, both for the environment and for long-term competitiveness.
I agree, it seems like more and more consumers are demanding eco friendly products and services these days.
Definitely. Sustainability is becoming a key factor that businesses need to consider to stay relevant and attractive to their target markets.
That makes sense. So, in your opinion, what are some of the main benefits of investing in sustainable offerings?
Well, there are environmental benefits, of course, like reducing carbon footprints and resource usage. But there are also commercial advantages.
Such as? I'm curious to hear more about the business case for sustainability.
Things like enhanced brand reputation, cost savings from efficiency gains, and the ability to tap into growing green consumer segments.
Ah, I see, that's really insightful. It's not just about doing the right thing, but also positioning the business for long term success.
Exactly. Sustainability isn't just a nice to have, it's becoming a strategic imperative for companies that want to remain competitive.
That's a great point. So, do you think most businesses are keeping up with this shift, or are there still a lot of laggards?
I'd say there's a mix. Some industry leaders are really embracing sustainability, while others are still playing catch up. But the pressure to go green is only going to increase.
Interesting. Well, this has given me a lot to think about in terms of factoring sustainability into business planning and investment decisions.
I'm glad I could provide some useful perspective, John. It's a complex issue, but one that's crucial for the future of the economy and the planet.
Absolutely. Okay, time for me to dive deeper into sustainable business models and best practices. Thanks for the insightful chat.
Lesson 7: Preparing a delicious salad.
Hey Anna, I'm thinking of making a nice salad for lunch today. Do you have any tips?
Absolutely, John. I'd be happy to help you put together a delicious and nutritious salad.
Great, what kind of ingredients do you usually like to include in your salads?
Well, I always start with a base of crisp greens, things like spinach, arugula, or mixed greens. Then I like to add some crunchy veggies.
Okay, that makes sense. What kind of veggies would you recommend?
Things like chopped cucumbers, bell peppers, carrots, and cherry tomatoes work really well. They add great texture and flavor.
Got it, I'll be sure to include some of those. And what about proteins or other toppings?
Let's see. Grilled chicken or salmon are always great protein options. And you could also add some nuts, seeds, or even some diced avocado.
Ooh, avocado sounds delicious. And what about cheese? Do you have a favorite cheese to use in salads?
I love a good sprinkle of crumbled feta or shredded cheddar. The creaminess and saltiness really complements the other flavors.
Awesome, that all sounds incredible. Okay, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Haha, I'm sure whatever salad you put together will be absolutely delicious, John. Just don't forget to chop everything up nicely.
Good call. Gotta make sure everything is bite-sized and easy to enjoy. Alright, time to get chopping.
Sounds like a plan. I can't wait to hear how your salad turns out. Let me know if you need any other tips along the way.
Will do, thanks Anna. Alright, back to my veggie chopping mission. Catch you later.
Lesson 8, The Mysterious Closet.
Hey Anna, can I ask you something kind of strange? I think there might be something in my closet.
Oh my, really? What do you mean, John? Did you see or hear something suspicious in there?
Well, last night I thought I heard a noise coming from the closet, so I went to investigate. But when I opened it, there was nothing there.
How curious. Did you happen to see or sense anything else unusual about the closet?
Not really, I just sort of stood there and stared at it for a while, hoping to catch a glimpse of whatever might be in there.
That is a bit unnerving. Have you had any other strange experiences with that closet before?
Not that I can recall. It's just been a normal closet up until last night. I'm starting to wonder if I was just imagining things.
Well, I wouldn't dismiss it so quickly, John. Our senses can sometimes pick up on things we might not fully understand.
That's true. Maybe there is something more going on with that closet than meets the eye. I just wish I knew what it was.
I can understand your curiosity and concern. Have you considered keeping an eye on it more closely, maybe even setting up a camera?
That's a good idea, actually. I could try monitoring it discreetly to see if anything happens. At least then I'd have some proof.
Exactly. It's always better to approach these kinds of mysteries methodically, rather than letting your imagination run wild.
You're right. Alright, I'm going to set up a little surveillance operation for that closet. Hopefully, I get to the bottom of this.
I'm sure you will, John. Just be cautious and keep me posted on what you discover. This sounds like quite the intriguing mystery.
Will do, Anna. Okay, back to my closet watching duties. Catch you later.
Lesson 9, Combating Moral Decay.
Hey Anna, I wanted to get your thoughts on something that's been weighing on my mind lately.
Of course, John. What's been troubling you? I'm here to listen.
Well, I've been concerned about the state of our moral climate, you know? It just feels like there's so much decay and corruption.
I see what you mean. It can be disheartening to witness the erosion of ethical standards in society.
Exactly. And it's not just about high profile scandals, it's the little things too, the casual disregard for right and wrong.
That's a profound observation, John. The rot often starts with the small compromises, the normalization of unethical behavior.
Precisely. It's like the whole moral foundation is crumbling, and it worries me deeply about the future.
I share your concern, John. It's a complex issue without easy solutions, but we mustn't lose hope.
So, what do you think can be done? How do we go about restoring a stronger moral fiber in our communities?
Well, I believe it starts with each of us taking personal responsibility, living with integrity, and setting a positive example.
That makes sense. But how do we get others to follow suit? It feels like an uphill battle against the tide of moral decay.
You raise a valid point. It will take a concerted effort on multiple fronts: education, civic engagement, and holding leaders accountable.
You're right. It's going to require a multi-pronged approach. But I'm convinced it's a fight worth having.
Absolutely, John. The health of our society depends on it. We must be willing to stand up for what's right, even when it's difficult.
I agree wholeheartedly. Alright, you've given me a lot to think about in terms of how to be part of the solution.
I'm glad I could provide some helpful perspectives, John. It's an ongoing battle, but one I believe we can win if we work together.
Definitely. Okay, time for me to ponder ways I can contribute to rebuilding our moral foundations. Thanks for the chat, Anna.
Anytime, John. I'm here if you ever want to continue this important discussion. Wishing you the best in your efforts.
Appreciate it. Alright, back to contemplating the nuts and bolts of moral renewal. Catch you later.
Lesson 10: Imagining Alternative Futures.
Hey Anna, I was reading a story the other day that really got me thinking. The author was imagining how her own life might have turned out differently.
That's a fascinating concept, John. I can see how exploring alternative life paths could be a thought-provoking exercise.
Exactly. In the story, the author wonders what if her grandparents had made different choices? How her life trajectory might have shifted as a result.
I see. It's intriguing to consider how the seemingly small decisions our ancestors make can have such a profound impact on our own lives.
Absolutely. The author really delves into the what ifs. What if her grandparents had stayed in their home country instead of immigrating? What if they had chosen different careers?
That must make for some compelling reading. It's amazing how our lives can be shaped by factors completely outside of our control.
Definitely. The author really paints a vivid picture of how her life could have unfolded in radically different ways.
I can imagine that would be both fascinating and a bit unsettling. To contemplate how your whole existence might have been altered.
Exactly. It almost makes you wonder, are we truly the authors of our own stories? Or are we just following the path laid out for us?
That's a profound philosophical question, John. I suppose it depends on how much agency and free will you believe we possess as individuals.
Right, exactly. The author seems to grapple with that a lot. Exploring the tension between fate and self-determination.
It sounds like a thought-provoking exploration of that age-old debate. I can see why it would really get you reflecting on the nature of your own life journey.
Definitely. It's made me ponder a lot about the role of chance and circumstance versus our own choices and actions.
Those are the kinds of big questions that can really captivate the imagination. I'd be curious to hear more about your own reflections on the matter.
For sure, it's given me a lot to mull over. Okay, time to dive back into that story and continue my own what if journey.
Sounds like a plan, John. Enjoy your literary explorations, and don't hesitate to share more of your insights with me.
Will do, thanks Anna. Alright, back to imagining alternative futures. Catch you later.
Lesson 11: The Art of Listening.
Hey Anna, I wanted to get your thoughts on something. What do you think is the key to effective communication?
That's an insightful question, John. In my opinion, the foundation of effective communication is active listening.
Ah, I see what you mean. So it's not just about the speaker, but really focusing on understanding the other person.
Exactly. Too often, people are so preoccupied with formulating their own response that they fail to truly listen to what's being said.
You make a good point. I guess it's all too easy to get caught up in our own perspectives and agendas.
Definitely. But when we make the effort to set aside our own biases and preconceptions, and truly focus on the other person, that's when communication becomes so much more effective.
That makes sense. So, what does active listening entail beyond just staying quiet while the other person talks?
Well, it involves things like maintaining eye contact, asking clarifying questions, and paraphrasing to ensure you've understood correctly.
I see, those are all great techniques. It's about being fully present and engaged, rather than just passively hearing the words.
Precisely. Active listening demonstrates that you value the other person's perspective and are making a concerted effort to connect.
That's a really important point. It shows respect and builds trust in the relationship.
Absolutely. And when both parties make that commitment to truly listen, it opens the door for much more meaningful, productive exchanges.
I can see how that would be essential, especially when discussing complex or sensitive topics.
Exactly. Active listening is a skill that takes practice, but the payoffs in terms of clearer understanding and stronger connections are immense.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, I'm going to make a conscious effort to work on my active listening skills going forward.
Wonderful, John. I'm confident you'll see the benefits in your personal and professional relationships. Let me know if you have any other questions.
Will do, thanks Anna. Alright, time to put these active listening tips into action.
Great, enjoy the practice. Effective communication is such an invaluable life skill.
Agreed. Catch you later, Anna.
Lesson 12: Gym Routine Revealed.
Hey Anna, I wanted to ask you about your typical workout routine at the gym. What do you usually do?
Great question, John. Well, I usually start with some cardio, maybe 20 to 30 minutes on the treadmill or elliptical, to get my heart rate up.
Ah, I see, that's a good way to warm up. And after the cardio, what do you typically move on to?
Next, I focus on strength training. I like to do a mix of free weights and resistance machines to work different muscle groups.
Interesting. What kinds of strength exercises do you find most effective?
I really enjoy doing squats, lunges, and deadlifts to work my lower body. And for upper body, I'll do things like bicep curls, shoulder presses, and rows.
That sounds like a well rounded routine. Do you also incorporate any core or flexibility work?
Definitely. I always make sure to end my workout with some core exercises like planks and ab crunches. And I try to stretch thoroughly as well.
That makes a lot of sense. Maintaining flexibility and core strength is so important for overall fitness.
You got that right. It's all about creating a balanced program that hits every major muscle group and aspect of fitness.
Absolutely. And do you find that your routine varies much from day to day, or do you stick to a pretty consistent plan?
I'd say it's a bit of both. I have a general structure that I follow, but I'll often mix up the specific exercises to keep things interesting.
That's a great approach. Variety is key to staying motivated and challenged during your workouts.
Exactly. And I find that switching things up also helps prevent plateaus and ensures I'm continually progressing.
Excellent point. Okay, you've given me a lot of great insights into an effective gym routine. Time for me to get to work on crafting my own plan.
Wonderful, John. I'm happy I could provide some useful tips. Let me know if you have any other questions as you get your gym routine dialed in.
Will do, thanks Anna. Alright, back to my workout research and planning. Catch you later.
Please subscribe, like, and share our channel. Your support helps us create more great content. Thank you.